May the words of my mouth and the meditation of all our hearts be acceptable unto you, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Good morning. For this first Sunday of Advent, I want to do some meditation with you. I want to invite you to recollect. I want you to recollect a time in which you felt completely at peace with yourself. Take a moment. Has there been a time in which you felt so comfortable in your skin? A peace just descending on you. You don't know where or how it came about maybe, but you feel the truth of it. You feel the eternity of it, that peace. Perhaps it came to you in an unexpected way when you were reading a poem, or you looked at a painting, or you were dancing, and you felt a peace about being who you are. And somehow in that moment, you felt like you returned to yourself, even though you didn't realize you had departed from yourself, somehow left yourself behind. And behind because all the stress of the world and your own particular life. And you felt somehow you got lost. And yet, in this moment of peace, you returned. And when you returned, you might have thought to yourself, I'm so glad to be here, to be myself. And now I want you to think about a time you felt love. You felt the truth of love. You knew it was for real. It could have been when you were holding a baby in your arms and you felt this love coursing out of you. And you felt love coming back to you. Or perhaps it was just walking in the woods. Perhaps it was petting your dog or your cat, and you just knew love was real. That peace, that love, that is your heart waking up. Advent tells us to keep awake. What are we waking up to? Advent says, wake up to that peace, to that love, to all that is essential. Because life is so full of inessentials. How much has been inessential this week? Taking you, grabbing you, twirling you around, a tempest, a storm. And then you hit this place of peace, this place of love, and you say to yourself, why did I worry so? Why did I let all these inessential things take me for a ride? And you wonder, how can I live where this is, these essentials? How can I live in that peace, in that love, and trust that it is sufficient for all my days? So this is what Advent is asking us, making an offering to us of what is possible, to keep awake to the reality of the essential, so that the inessential sloughs away and we know we are where we are and we delight in it. So this coming that we are talking about, Advent means coming. It means God is presencing God's self to us. And the reality is, it is this very presencing that is the power of God. Because without God's presencing God's self to us, we wouldn't be here. We would be nothing without the presence of God, the fiat of God, presencing God's self to us. And so because we are nothing without God, the very reality of our existence, our presence in the world, means we are the presence of God. So, we forget this. How has your week been? Has it been busy, or heartaches creeping up because of the holidays? And this tempest, this storm, is very strange because it is the very tempest and storm of the inessential that puts us to sleep. It's the inessential that puts us to sleep because it takes us from ourself and we are in a spiritual somber, unawake to the reality of who we already are, which is deeply loved, deeply okay, deeply at peace. So, I want to lead us today in this Advent-led meditation of what it means to always abide in that reality that God comes for us, God is coming for us, and God will always come for us. And it is we who get lost, and we are the ones who move away because the inessentials grab us, because we're only human. This is the human condition, to let the tempest and the storm be the tyrant in our being, rather than that soft power of God to claim us as who we are. So we can practice a state of wakefulness in which we are awake to that peace of God, in which we are awake to the love of God, that which sustains us. Today, the gospel talks about God standing at the very gate, Christ standing at the very gate. So close your eyes now and stand at that gate. Take a breath. And put your hand on that gate and open the gate. This gate is for yours always to open. It is never locked. And you walk through the gate and you find yourself in a garden. You walk through the garden and you're carrying everything that you are carrying, whatever that might be. Your fear, your grief, your anger. You're carrying that into the garden. And you're looking for Jesus with this burden. And you find that he's in there and he's sitting on the bench and he's been waiting for you. He's been waiting for you to come through the gate. And you sit down next to him. And he puts his arms around you. And you lean into Jesus. And you tell him all your burdens. What are they? What are your burdens? And He's listening. He's infinitely listening to you. And you pour yourself out. And when you are done, He draws closer to you, pulls you even closer. And He whispers in your ear the words that you long to hear. The words that will free you from your burden. These are the words that last. What does He say to you? Perhaps He says those words that the angel said to Mary. Be not afraid. And suddenly, because Jesus says it, you realize those very words release you. They release you from the tyranny of whatever burden you carry. It doesn't mean that burden disappears. It doesn't mean that fear disappears. But the tyranny of that burden, the power it has over you, the way it drives you, that is lifted. And you return to yourself. And you see that the fear or whatever burden it shrinks so you can see that it is manageable. And you return to yourself and you rest in this essential truth. You do not belong to your fears. You belong to God. Rest in this for a moment. And now you are ready to leave the garden. You walk and you close the gate. But before you turn around, you say to yourself, my heart is awake. I am awakened to the love that sustains me. I will not break faith with my awakened heart. I will come to Jesus as He comes to me every day. Amen.